is there gonna be a mic for anybody to be able to speak?
It's up to the chairman,
Oh,
but this
okay.
is not noticed, this is not a hearing.
Right. I didn't know. I mean, there was a
Didn't
sign-up
I see a
sheet, that's the
special
only reason I
meeting?
asked.
It is noticed, it is a special
It is
meeting.
noticed.
By 3 minutes.
Correct.
3 minutes is fair.
Yeah, compliance with state statute.
But
Yeah.
what you said to them was that it isn't a hearing, it wasn't noticed, but the answer is that.
It's not noticed as a hearing, that's correct.
That's not what you said.
Pardon me.
Mr. Chairman, do you want me to put my phone on?
Hmm?
Do you want a microphone?
Don't want one up.
Will you be allowing public comment?
No, we're not.
No public comment?
No, ma'am.
No public comment.
We signed up for public comment.
Why, are we not gonna get public comment on this one?
There is empty chair over here, there's one there.
Commissioner Bradshaw, are we not gonna do public comment for this? Especially since these people came here to be part of it?
Well, they can certainly be part of it, but this is a open meeting, not a public hearing, and we will discuss the issue at hand, and there will be no public comment. So we will read the items, we will take a vote on them, and we will adjourn. And that's how this will go. Okay, it is, okay. No, okay, it is 11 o'clock on Friday morning, and we are here to hear two items. And this is a open meeting, and there will be no public comment. We will read the items, and we will take a vote on them, and that's pretty much how this meeting will go. So-
Mr. Chairman, can I read a,
No, you cannot.
may I put this in?
Did you not understand
May
what I
put-
said?
May I put in a statement from the sheriff?
You can put in a statement from the sheriff.
Okay, I will do
You
that.
can submit that forward. Thank you
The
very
sheriff
much.
gets to make public comment, is that?
Can I
that
see
what's
the-
going on?
If I have to, I'll clear the room. But we're not gonna have public comment. This is just a formality, and we're gonna go through with it, and that will be how this goes. So, Mr. Ahmed, I believe you brought these items forward.
I did, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is in response to IDPR grant number RV 23-1-09-1. On August 2nd, 2022, the Board of County Commissioners accepted the IDPR grant RV 23-1-09-1, the Bonner County Fairgrounds Campgrounds expansion, in the second phase of a series of grants to improve the Bonner County Fairgrounds. The proposed campground site is located on the Bonner County Readiness Center Lot 1 and is currently zoned for mixed-use residential and requires a zone change to rural residential. Bonner County needs to file a rezone application with the City of Sandpoint for this project to conform to existing uses. And as such, Mr. Chairman, based on the information before us, I move to approve the application for a rezone of RPS 000000366001A and RPS 3835001AA, the Bonner County Readiness Center Lot 1 with the City of Sandpoint.
I'll second the motion to advance it for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I call the question and move for an immediate vote.
Roll call vote.
So, do your thing, because I'm still gonna talk, but I need to vote, so we could give the appearance of actually including the elected officials.
Like
or
public
we can do
servants
it
and all,
over,
like
so.
servants of the public, maybe
Commissioner
act like
Alon?
that?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
All right, so one of the problems I have with this particular memorandum is it didn't go through legal, and one of the things it says is not accurate. It says that we would be doing this in order to improve Bonner County Fairgrounds, but this particular piece of land is not Bonner County Fairgrounds. So how can we approve an MOU to improve fairgrounds when what you actually applied for has nothing to do with Bonner County Fairgrounds? So inherently, this is problematic because had you probably sent it to legally, would have told you it wasn't drafted correctly. My other issue on this is Bonner County has a piece of land that has been in continuous dispute. You have not received an extension of this grant application, I have actually requested of you to show me, why are we doing this? Where's the Sewell engineering report that we're supposed to have given to me so that I can determine why are we rezoning this? I don't see that you also have any signatures from the Fairgrounds Fair Board agreeing to make this decision, and this would actually change land that we need to use. So this memo isn't written correctly, and so it shouldn't be voted and pushed forward, and it is an inappropriate decision for the board to say, yeah, we're gonna go with the general idea and fix the actual memo after the fact. The memo isn't correct, it needs to go back, bring it on Tuesday, allow the community to discuss it. We have another issue. When we engaged Sewell Engineering, it was called for a boundary line adjustment, which had to do with fairground land. But now we're just talking about this readiness center. How are we paying them to do something that was not what we actually agreed to? This is not a boundary line adjustment. So it appears as if we have significantly deviated from what was voted by a 2-to-1 majority in all of this, with a very intentional disregard for showing the public and an elected official what it is that you are working on. Every week you give a District 3 Commissioner report, and all you talk about is stuff that we could Google or look on the Blaze. You're not talking about what you're working on. This is a significant project. Commissioner Bradshaw has stated that if we didn't get the extension, we wouldn't be moving forward with this. But now you're involving the city of Sandpoint to rezone our property, which also has another question. That piece, and I will ask Cheryl to correct me if I'm wrong, is it just the 2 acres that they want to put it on, or is it much larger than that? And I'll remind this board that a county commissioner can reach out to people at the public to ask them for their input. So if you could please provide me with some kind of description of this land, because one question is, have we actually engaged Sewell Engineering into dissecting a piece of the Readiness Center land in order to accommodate the grant, because this is not fairground land? So are you aware of the complete footprint of that piece of land? And can I ask you to come forward so that it's on the record?
Mr. Chairman, I was under the impression that we were in the midst of voting.
You should look at the rules, because a commissioner can seek information from members of the public.
That would be during a hearing. We are in the midst of voting, but
You bypassed it,
So
and I
is that a
said, what a
yes or
good
no?
idea. You gotta throw a flag, because it's not gonna be right.
that's lovely,
Continue.
Commissioner
I
Williams, but
haven't voted
it's the
yet.
chairman who controls the meeting.
And I
not
have
you.
a vote, and I
The
haven't
chairman has
voted
called
yet.
for a roll call vote, so that ends all discussion, period.
No,
No ifs, ands, or buts.
No.
Continue on.
That's not
Mr.
true.
that's not it.
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
That is not
I
correct.
am not ready to vote, I need information in order to make my vote. You can't bypass the discussion and expect me to give an uninformed vote just because all
Absolutely, I
this.
can. Yes.
Oh, for crying out loud, you're not God.
So how did you?
No,
report-
I am the chairman of this
You are not
board,
God.
and I will run this
Why don't you do
meeting,
your
not
little
you.
preaching?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can't bypass my
Corruption
vote.
is-
So you're going to
People
record
came to
no
hear.
vote on record?
Are you
Because-
accusing this board of taking bribes, sir?
I asked you a question.
It is,
I'm asking you.
No,
Are you
you're
accusing,
defensive.
you said how much I didn't pay.
You must be.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm gonna
not
call
gonna be
to order.
transparent anyway.
We called for a roll call vote. Rules state plainly, very plainly, unless you have a serious comprehension problem, that when a roll call vote is called, all discussion ceases.
you gave no discussion to begin with on purpose.
You're right, I didn't, because it's just a formality required.
Not to us,
No, it's
it's
not,
a-
no,
not to
it
the
it is
constituents.
not a formality
Quiet,
for an elected
quiet.
official to speak. And I actually pointed out a very significant error in this piece of paper. This is not an
That's
expansion
your
of.
opinion,
It's
and
not an
continually,
opinion.
I think
you
it's all of our
choose to
opinion.
give
It
legal
was plain.
opinion where you do not have a license to
I very
practice law,
clearly just
so-
told, did this go through legal? Did this go through legal? It didn't. And that's what I pointed out to you. So I didn't give you a legal opinion. This is not a legal document.
Tyranny.
Luke, wipe that smirk off
What are
your
you
face.
afraid of?
they're
afraid
Not
What
a
are
thing.
you
This is
afraid
a
of?
formality. We can reverse anything we do.
Air it out.
It isn't.
Mr. Chairman, can we move on to our next
No, I don't
agenda?
think
Move on
we can. We need to have a
to continue to vote.
Who do y'all think you are? Tyrants. They're afraid because they don't want something coming out.
Isn't it
What do you
one-
hide?
Okay, item number 2,
This
Mr.
piece-
Ahmed.
Mr. Chairman, could we,
Quiet.
If they
Call
were
to
going
order,
rezone
please.
this,
They did do it.
Thank
they
you.
rezone the whole thing.
I'd be glad to go to court.
They would have to rezone the fairgrounds down to it. I mean, this would become part of the fairgrounds from the Justice complex. This part right here is what's in question. This is fairgrounds right here. This line brings it down on the Justice Center, Readiness Center, block 2 of the Readiness Center.
Okay, but so then, okay.
Ms. Williams? You're in a fact finding to make a educated vote? Is there more facts in the sheriff's letter that you?
I'm sorry, no
you're gonna read
public
out?
comment, thank you very much.
I'd be-
You will refrain your comments, or you will be asked to leave the room.
Okay,
So,
so, good
that
morning,
was laid
Commissioner
out
Cheryl
front.
Messner,
Item
Executive
number 2,
Assistant to the
Commissioner
Sheriff
Ahmed.
for the record.
Chair
Sheriff Wheeler has
recognizes
asked me
Mr.
to
Ahmed.
read
Thank
this
you,
statement.
Commissioner Williams, that'll be
Because he
all.
had an important prior scheduled
call
meeting,
man,
adjourn
guy.
the meeting then, scheduled meeting and is unable to
So-called
attend
sheriff.
this special meeting in person. This unrelentless pursuit by certain commissioners, past and present, to tie up or reduce the sheriff's complex property has to end at some point. There has been documented personal testimony and written statements given by numerous past county commissioners to include Dale Vanstone, Mike Nielsen, Kerry Kelly, and Todd Sudik, stating that the original 20-acre parcel property purchased in 1990 from the Browns for the expansion as the need arises in a February 14th, 2019 jail workshop conducted by Commissioners McDonald, Connolly, and Bradshaw. All three discussed and agreed that the future expansion of the jail and courthouse located should be at the sheriff's complex property. At the February 2019 workshop, Dan McDonald said, but there's also another bigger conversation that we've been bantering around, or that I've been bantering around, maybe I was just talking to myself, is looking at not just the jail at a new jail, but looking at getting out of downtown, getting out of the courthouse, getting out of the prosecutor's office, getting out of the public defender's office. Put everything on your guys' property, so we have a justice facility, it includes the jail. He went on later in that meeting and said, when we can put them all in one building and actually save money over all square foot design, the whole shooting match at once. And he continued on saying, but if you start talking about adding property costs, the cost of property and infrastructure to the cost of the building, we have already owned that property, at least we have. We've we've peed on all corners. We know it's ours. If you do not abandon this proposal, you'll be saddling future residents of Bonner County with a hefty tax bill. I'll also add that Commissioner Omot is continuing to withhold the grant extension application. I don't have anything from Sewell Engineering. I don't know what we paid, and we're going to continue on with documents that have not been pushed through legal. I personally don't care about following somebody's process and procedure if it's not going to be equitable across the board. The idea of discussion with the community, sure, but when it comes to a commissioner asking for information to make an informed, educated decision on the part as a representative, it is my obligation to seek the necessary information to make an informed decision. I am tired of this board overruling the process of allowing me as an elected official to represent the people. This is significant. This has not gone through legal, and it was very clear, and it's always clear when you two do your little eye contact thing is, let's move past Asia. You have the majority vote, but when you screw our county, make sure you take the majority responsibility. So move on and pass your little MOU that says you're doing it for Bonner County Fairgrounds, because at the end of the day, how are they actually agreeing to do this with you? And they won't, because the way you keep treating the people doesn't get people on your side, and it's screwing over our county. Who wants to go to the damn fair this year? I don't think that the fair is being treated properly, and I will tell you, I personally called fair board members to say, hey, this was a 24-hour short set meeting. 3 are out of the country. Most don't want to come before this board. One person was going to try to. The person that we hired as fair board manager is having a difficult time with the negativity over the fair. This is not an emergency. This could have happened on Tuesday. We're doing it intentionally because we don't Zoom it, we don't YouTube it, we don't allow the public to speak, and that's what the goal is. And you guys have to address it, because the unfortunate part about commissioners is we have too much power that relies on you to check it.
Right on.
And the fair board does not
And
want
as
this.
much as they're going to move forward with this can continue on over at the city of Sandpoint, because they're the ones that have to rezone. This crap is just these two going to say, we're gonna put the application to the city of Sandpoint to rezone this. The implications of this are not clear, again, because I don't have any of the documents.
Follow the money.
Thank you.
Amen.
Mr. Chairman,
Follow the
Next-
On August-
Next item.
on August 2nd, 2022, the Bonner County Board of Commissioners accepted IDPR grant number RV 23-1-09-1. The Bonner County Fairgrounds campground expansion and the second phase of a series of grants to improve the Bonner County Fairgrounds. The proposed campground site is located on the Bonner County Readiness Center Lot 1 and is currently zoned for mixed-use residential and requires a zone change to rural residential. Bonner County needs to file a CUP application with the city of Sandpoint for this project to conform to existing uses. As such, Mr. Chairman, based on the information before us, I move to approve the application for a CUP of RPS 0000366601A and RPS 38350001AA, the Bonner County Readiness Center Lot 1 with the city of Sandpoint.
For Bonner County to conform to original uses, which is not what we're doing. It's what your anticipated desire of, what is it, affordable housing now?
Is that a second or is that just a comment? Because the motion's been made.
Then second it if you want to
I will
second
step
it.
down from the chair and second it, roll call vote.
Commissioner Omar,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Absolutely not. This is an error. This is not an
Continue.
improvement of Bonner. You don't get to mute my statements.
Sure I do.
No, you don't.
No,
No,
you
no,
don't.
no. For the record, to
Roll
very
call
clearly
vote.
state,
Once a
you
roll call
don't
vote
get to
is
mute
called
my
for,
comments on
decision
video.
is done.
The decision
Yeah,
isn't
wait,
done.
I mean, the discussion is done.
You
It's
don't
a
get to
joke.
mute a commissioner from speaking. And if Veronica pressed mute, who is stuck in a very awkward position with you, that's a problem. You can wield your stick all you want to, but muting Asia is never gonna happen, I promise you.
Okay.
And that is why they elected me, because I'm not gonna
Okay.
sit in the background and
Okay.
pretend that this is
Okay.
normal. So this is a problem.
By all means,
Again,
carry on.
I will carry on. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your permission. This is not to improve the Bonner County Fairgrounds, and it is not to continue with the existing use. It's a parking lot. We didn't need an MOU, we didn't need anything from the city of Sandpoint to continue using it as a parking lot. So there's an error in this. This didn't go to our attorneys, but it did conveniently go to Sewell and Associates, a form that we have never actually received from Commissioner Ahmed. So we don't know what he applied for or what we're working on. We just know that we're sending more stuff. So I encourage everybody to pay attention when the city of Sandpoint puts this on their agenda to address the rezoning
We'll
of
be
this.
there.
Because one of the things that I have been told, and I haven't been able to research it with such short notice, is that a zone change to do this and pull it into the fair requires the fair to agree, because this property has nothing to do with the fair. The other thing I don't understand is, will this zone change impact when we need to do future development? Because rural residential doesn't seem like expand a jail in rural residential, so I don't know how that would impact
I
that.
think you misspelled land grab.
And the fairgrounds does not want this property. Plain
Way I
and
see it,
simple.
only
Oh,
these two do.
I did also tell the fair, I was gonna make this
Oh, and Dan
statement.
McDonald.
The
don't forget about
fair is getting a lot of negative press from this board, with people feeling as if the fair board doesn't
Wonder how
want
that happened.
participated. 24-hour
We know.
notice is not enough time for members of the public
Misinformation.
that volunteer and for members of the public that are actually trying to still move forward with a fair. They had 3 members that were out of the country, and the 3 members that were added to the fair board also have concerns about coming to this particular board. There was one person that was going to try to make it. We're not making it easy, but as a public, know that I personally called to tell them that this got noticed. I'm aware that people said they didn't find the notice of this meeting. They saw what got pushed out on Facebook. But it is not the fair board, it's not the fair employees. There's misstatements on what we do in terms of the fair. We give them $20,000, which mostly pays for ribbons. They also get salaries. Everything else is what they do. So we're being, I'll say disingenuous to make it nicer instead of saying lying about what we do. We are not that involved, and we don't have the right to make them do things. They are a board. The land is an issue, and I'm not saying we need to build another jail. It's the expansion that At some point in time, Mr. Bradshaw agreed with, when it was with the other commissioners, that the land is the issue. It is not a jail, this is not a, we are advocating for sheriff versus other electeds. It's just about land. We don't have an endless supply of land. We need to make good decisions. These decisions are costing us not just money, but it's costing our community. We are entering into tough economic times and we are fighting over the same stupid ass project. And there's no other adjective I could have used.
It's a perfect one, thank you very much.
So I'm not gonna vote for this, and I think it's written improperly, and I think at least if you wanna do it anyhow, go back in time and ask the attorney to fix the words, because the words aren't right.
Is this a second agenda item that only got one item notice?
They were both noticed.
I didn't actually look at what they wrote.
Commissioner Bradshaw.
Apparently
Yes.
they didn't either.
Okay, motion passes. It is 11:18. We will adjourn this meeting.
What was the second item?
Thank you, Commissioner.
He did two different, he asked for a zone
Thank y'all for
change and
being
a
here.
conditional
Sorry y'all
use
were
permit.
misinformed with misinformation and.
Nobody's
grinding my teeth.
misinformed.
Nobody's misinformed.
Nobody is misinformed.
Well, yeah, you are. But that's for a different
You two
discussion.
have an
I
agenda.
found one.
You two have an agenda.
Thank you. Created a new enemy today.
No, you're good.
I don't, I'm not interested in what you have.
Pretend.
Luke, you better pull your head
You
out.
know what? You're
Keep walking.
Bye.
Let me grab one.